We must be comprehensive cataract surgeons, not only phaco surgeons. We must learn SICS, small incision cataract surgery. The draping should be nice, and the plastic drape is cut in this way, and the speculum is placed in such a way that the eyelid margins are nicely covered and no eyelashes are exposed in the operating area. Few drops of povidone iodine is applied and the ocular surface is thoroughly irrigated. The ocular surface has been prepared nicely in the preparation room. Few drops of povidone iodine is placed in the conjunctival cul-de-sac, kept for 5 minutes and then washed out with antibiotic eye drops. And now in this case we are going to bridle the superior rectus tendon. Take a muscle hook or any blunt instrument like this, turn the eyeball down, place the open prongs of the superior rectus holding forceps, press and close the blades, close the prongs and hold the tendon. Pass the suture about 2 mm behind, where you hold 2 mm posterior to the point of where you are holding. The needle is passed underneath the tendon and the superior rectus tendon is thus bridled. And now we are going to do conjunctival peritomy. We are going to do peritomy for 2 clock hours. This is a soft cataract, so we are going to just doing peritomy for about 2 clock hours, 11, 12, 1, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, just 2 clock hours. Hold the conjunctiva, make a radial cut, and the 2 blades go under the conjunctiva, then on blade goes behind the conjunctiva, another in front, and we cut the conjunctiva flush at the limbus. We don't cut posteriorly, just along the limbus like this. A little bit more, done. So 2 clock hours of conjunctival peritomy, and now very mild wet field cautery is done. This is very mild wet field cautery. We must take care of the scleral surface. Too much of cautery must not be applied. Very mild cautery so that the surface is not charred. And now the incision is placed. If you are a beginner, don't try to make a too much frown incision. The dissection will be difficult. Just make mild frown or straight incision like this. And now the depth of the incision should be equal from one end to the other end, and you must check that. And now after checking, start making the sclerocorneal tunnel. Go forward and into the clear cornea for about 1.5 millimeter, and from there come backward and to the left, or backward and to the right. I am going to the left first. And when you are going to the left, when you must take care of the contour of the eyeball. the thickness of the anterior wall of the tunnel should be equal all around. Now making the tunnel right side of the tunnel, coming backward and to the right. And the sclerocorneal tunnel is made. And now paracentesis is done at around 9 o'clock or 8:30 o'clock. An air bubble is injected. Trypan blue dye is applied underneath the air bubble. There are many surgeons who don't use an air bubble. It's okay. I find that if I use air bubble, the dye is not diluted by aqueous and staining is much faster than if you use the dye in the aqueous. When we use air bubble, we don't wait, we just apply the dye, and just after 1 or 2 seconds we wash out the excess dye and then fill up the anterior chamber with 2% SPMC. And see, this is real time, and see how quick is the staining and how nice is the staining of the anterior capsule. Now if you have to hold the eyeball at a place where there is no blood vessel or very few blood vessels, relatively avascular area, and where the conjunctiva is thick, find out area where the conjunctiva is thick. And now I am using this cystitome 26 gauge bent needle to do orexis. This is not difficult in immature cataracts, but in intumescent cataracts it is difficult to do orexis with needle. The orexis tends to run out. Now we go to the anterior extreme of the tunnel and then enter into the anterior chamber, and we cut the tissue only when we go forward. Some more visco. We must go find out the original opening, and now opening the right side of the tunnel. It is done. The inner opening of the tunnel is little more than the outer opening. And now hydrodissection is done. If the rhexis is large, just by hydrodissection the nucleus comes out of the bag, as in this case. Just by hydrodissection, on part of the nucleus came out of the bag, and then we dial the lens and the whole nucleus, whole lens mass comes out of the bag. And now we inject visco first in front and then behind the lens mass. In this case, I am using this irrigating vectis. It is attached to a bottle, so I don't have to push the fluid. Just go and depress the posterior wall of the sclerocorneal tunnel and see how beautifully we can remove the nucleus and then the epinucleus. Now, lot of lens matter gets stuck to the corneal endothelium when we do the nucleus delivery, when we prolapse the nucleus. So I take the Simcoe cannula, a gentle stream of BSS or ring lactate is directed towards the posterior surface of the cornea, and thus the visibility becomes good. And now this is cleaning of the cortex. Go through the side port and remove the cortex from the superior part, that is from 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. The other parts we can remove going through the main wound. When we use the main wound for cortical aspiration, we must use visco. If we use visco, the maintenance of the anterior chamber is good and we get some time to aspirate the cortex. If we don't use visco, the chamber tends to collapse very soon. And now in this case we have selected this lens. This is a PMMA lens. We hold the lens, there are two dialing holes, and hold the lens here. We should avoid touching the central part of the optic of the intraocular lens. And now let us see how we place the lens in the bag. We take a forceps. I have taken the toothed forceps that I use to hold the conjunctiva at the limbus. And now the lens goes, then I hold the haptic, and then the lens leading haptic goes in the bag, and the trailing haptic is held again with the MacPherson's, and it is placed in the bag. And now there is a lot of visco. We have to clean the visco thoroughly. We must dedicate some time for this. You must spend some quality time for removal of visco, because this is important. It's not a step that you just do it. You must do it carefully, and we must be thorough in cleaning the visco from behind the lens. Now I know that there is some more visco in the anterior chamber. We can see that anterior chamber is not looking very clean. So a lot of visco is there in the anterior chamber. Some visco is sticking on the back surface of the cornea, that is on the corneal endothelium. Some are in the angle. So I have taken some more fluid and I am injecting the fluid. First I flushing out the fluid through the aspirating port, and removing all the visco that is in front and behind the intraocular lens. There are some air bubbles. It can be left because it will get absorbed very soon, or I am using this irrigating probe of bimanual IA. We can remove it easily with this probe. You can see the main incision is nicely opposed, so we need not put any suture. Whenever you see that there is some gaping of the main wound, we must put suture. This is moxifloxacin, and then the side port is closed by corneal stromal hydration. And now this is the final step of the surgery, using the 23G Simcoe to irrigate and aspirate for some time and then forming the antechamber in this way. And now we have to oppose the conjunctiva to the limbus. There are colleagues who use bipolar cautery. This is another way. You just inject gentamicin and dexamethasone in the tenons in 3 places, 1, 2, and this is 3. And as you close the eye, the conjunctiva will come to the limbus. So you need not use cautery, just inject gentamicin and dexamethasone like this, as I showed, and conclude the case. Thank you very much for your attention. Hope this video will help you in developing your SICS skills.